All right, let's do this. Today I want to talk about how you can get better tone out of your saxophone, all right? But first I want to remind you that I'm still offering Zoom lessons, an hour at a time on Zoom with me, one-on-one. We start with a phone call. I talk to you a little bit, get caught up on where you're at and where you want to be, and then I make a session so that we don't have to, waste any of your precious Zoom time chatting about things. We can get right to work, okay? Your discount code for the coming month is DGM12. DGM12. Zoom lessons. For more information, reach out to me at davegoodsax@gmail.com. davegoodsax@gmail.com. All right, good morning, everybody. Winter is back here in Southern California. One week it's summer, the next week it's winter. I give up trying to figure any of this mess out. All I'm working on is getting better tone and controlling my saxophone, which I know you want to do that too, right? Better tone, control, and intonation. All right, those are the three kings, aren't they? Better tone, control, and intonation. And you can get better tone with one amazingly simple thing that's free, right? It's absolutely free. What you don't need is a new mouthpiece. You don't need new reeds. Unless your reed is unless the dogs chewed on it or something, But I mean, you don't need a new horn. You don't need. You can get better tone with a crap setup. You can get better tone with junk, right? Doing this, and it's so simple. I'm surprised more people don't talk about it, but all it is breathing, air. You hear anything coming out of this? No, of course not. Air is the fuel that drives this horn and your horn and all the other horns in the world. Air, it's air. The quality of the air, the speed of the air, the amount of the air, and the constancy. Is that a word? Constancy of the air, all right? I have had students over the years, and I've had lots of them. We'll just take a breath at the beginning of the song, just one big breath, and say, well, that's it. Right? No, you got to keep breathing all through so you breathe all through the song. Other students do long tone exercises for days on end, and they can prove it, right? And then when they get back to playing, they switch into a different mental mindset, right? And they maybe just fill the tops of their lungs, just little shallow breaths like that. No siree, Bob Maroney. Where do I come up with these words? I don't know. Not enough coffee yet. All right, so listen. Air is the driver, all right? Your breath is what makes the saxophone work. All right, and now everybody talks about this magical organ called the diaphragm, all right? Look it up. Go Google diaphragm, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a transverse band of muscle, and it works the opposite. When your lungs empty, it snaps them back into place so they fill up again. Why don't you die at night? Well, your diaphragm continues to, fill you up like a bellows. Of course, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, so that's probably a pretty crummy description of how it all works. I'm sure there's more to it, but still, we've said diaphragm for so many years that people just say it without even thinking what the heck it is and how you're supposed to use your diaphragm, something you can't find, you can't see, nobody can actually see it. Only a doctor can, find it. And I'm pretty sure, you don't want a doctor to have to find your diaphragm. I think that would mean that you're in some kind of physical trouble. So let's assume we're all in great health here. And I just want to, if you went to the next room right now and you did, you just crack out 5 sit-ups, all right? Or maybe 100. I don't know. Maybe you're in way better shape than me. Just crack out some sit-ups, and I'm going to show you this part right here. Right? You're going to feel it right here. Well, this is what you're going to use to push the air out of your lungs. You're going to fill up as if you're going to cannonball into the swimming pool. Big, big honking breath. Maybe a double set. Like that, right? I don't care if you move your shoulders. Oh my God, how many things have I seen on YouTube? Don't move your shoulders. Don't move your. Only move your. Oh, shut up with all that. Just get air in you and get it into the horn. Would you? Okay, so look, big deep breath. And you might want to practice doing that. You might want to actually practice breathing. I know, that sounds a little bit odd. I advise all of you to breathe at all times anyway, but still, breathing. All right, suck a bunch of that air in and push it out with your stomach, so that if your kid comes by, or your wife or your bandmates come by and they give you a pink belly, it sounds like a drum, right? That tight. All right, this is a whole new habit for you. I'm gonna be willing to bet. I'll bet you $1 none of you do this. Okay, so when you like that, okay, I'm just kidding about the dollar bet, right? There's no money shall exchange hands here, but anyway, you push it back out with your stomach, right? And you don't have to make any grunting sound like that or any of that nonsense. Just push like that, right? And you should physically feel the wall of massive stomach muscle that you have moving every time you empty. Don't run out of air. Tank up. Got half a tank left? Top it off. Like that. All right, practice breathing. You may have to do that in order to get a new mindset about what it takes to make great tone come out of your saxophone. But the saxophone is relatively new in the grand scheme of things. I think invented in the middle 1800s, 1850-ish or so. And it's kind of weird. It's got this bore that gets, larger all the way down to the bell. That's not a bell. You know what a bell looks like. We call this a bell, but it's not a bell. And it points upward, and out. Starts here with a little buzzer. And you need air to make this thing work and play in tune, right? Now, earlier I said even junk equipment, all right, will sound better with better air. I can prove that. How many times have you seen a really good sax player just do an A-B roll on a junk horn for a few $100s and a $4,000 horn? Have you seen that? I'm not going to mention names, but I have written to that person and said, yeah, it works because you're a pro and you know how to breathe and you know how to do it right. A beginner is going to stumble all over him or herself with a junk horn as opposed to a really nice horn, okay? So yeah, if you got a nice horn, that makes things beautiful. If you have a junk horn, save your money, all right? That's the motto of all this. So I've got a 6M. This is a 70, 80-year-old alto sax. It's a wonderful old horn, and it requires me to put a lot of air into it, all right? No resistance. You got this, pretty much 90-degree angle here, nothing to stop. As if like the swan neck here on the tenor sax, you got a little resistance here. So I don't know, between you and me, it feels a little bit easier to blow a tenor than an alto. Alto just empties the bucket right away. So how do we get better tone? You breathe. You breathe all through the music. Your strategy from now on is going to be to look at places where you can take a breath. Take lots of them. Practice taking big gulping bunches of air in a very short amount of time. Like that, right? You'll get better at it. And again, I don't care if your shoulder, I don't care about any of your body parts that move as long as your stomach, your wall O stomach muscle is pushing the air back out again. This is what is meant by air support. You've heard that too, haven't you? No one's explained it to you. Air support is pushing the air out of you into the saxophone and keeping it in constant supply, okay? What's your best tool to actually check this out? And if you don't have a teacher, if you're just really learning off of YouTube here, which I don't advise, by the way, you've got a teacher, run all this by your private instructor, or reach out to me, davegoodsax@gmail.com, and we can set you up in a lesson and do some breathing. The Zoom lessons work for all levels of players except for beginners. All right, I'm not good with beginners on Zoom. You need to study with a person who can be in the same room with you and see how much mouthpiece you're taking, your breathing, all that stuff, hand positions and everything. So if you're intermediate to advanced, I got you. davegoodsax@gmail.com. And your discount code coming up is DGM-12. All right, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to me at that same email or leave a comment in the comments below. Even better yet, why don't you post a little video of you before and after, right? And let's hear your improvement. You do this for 6 days and you won't recognize your sound at the end of a week, okay? It's that important. The quality, the amount, the way you breathe is that important, all right? That's number one, all right? Again, you don't have to buy a new mouthpiece. You don't have to buy a new reeds. You don't have to buy a new anything. Just breathe air. And as far as I know, they're not charging for air at this point in time, so it's free. Pretty much within your budget, right? So let's get on. Let's get on that. And it's, again, like any new skill, it's a go. All right, it's a go. All right, it take a little while to incorporate all of these things into your playing, but I don't even think about it anymore. I know that a lot of players, have been doing this properly. You don't think about it, but you start out, yeah, you do. You got a teacher that walks by and gives you, big belly. You're not supporting, or whatever. Anyway, questions, comments. If this helped you, hit that subscribe button. Apparently it helps me do better YouTube, whatever it is I'm doing here. And I appreciate all of you so very much. If we don't get a chance to talk before the holidays, have a great next week. And next Sunday, I'll be back with a new lesson. We'll talk about, let's see, we're talking about breathing. Oh, you know what? I have a lot of students who have wanted to learn how to put a little growl into their sound. Why don't we do that next week? Okay. All right. Got to go. See you.